it's Sherri from A Quilting Life, and I'm here today to share the September 2025 block of the month. And the 1st of September is on a Monday, so we're early in the month here, and it's also Labor Day today here in the United States. So happy Labor Day to all of you in the United States. I've got some really fun things to share about this month's block. It is it's actually right here. It's a basket for our block center. And I've got some finishing thoughts and ideas that I'm also going to share with you today. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so as I mentioned in the introduction, this month's block center is a basket block. It goes together really easily. It's just made of half square triangles. So you've got two different sizes. This one's bigger. And then we've just got these two rectangles. If you wanted to, you could use triangle paper for these. They are on the smaller side. The pattern is written so that they are just sized up and you can trim it down. You also will size this one up and trim it down. And here is my smaller one that I'm making. And I just did green and red. And I'll go ahead and show you the pressing on this one. I did press all of the half square triangles open, even on the big one. And then I press some of the seams open. And then if I was going to a solid rectangle, I pressed toward that rectangle. But other than that, I really did press all of the seams pretty much open and press these seams open and that one. So anyway, it's a darling, darling block. I do have quite a bit of stuff to show you today though, along with this. You know that I had my first two rows already sewn together, and I have now sewn together the July and August blocks, and I've even got my sashing right here ready so I can just sew my September block to those. So I will do those probably as soon as we're done filming today. I'll probably just go ahead and add this, and then I'm going to add this row also to my quilt. So I'll have 3 rows put together. What I've also done is I've gone ahead and I have this sashing strip ready to go in order to join those. While I was sewing the other day, I thought just go ahead and get this done, so it'll be super easy to do this. Some people like to wait because there are 4 rows in this quilt. Some people might want to wait and just sew this together with the very bottom row and then sew this half to the top half. So you're welcome to do that if you want. In fact, for sure I'm going to add this. We'll see if I go ahead and add it because it is kind of nice to have it more evenly based when you add that. And then I've also got I think I left one of these in my little box, but I've also got my other sashing pieces sewn for the last row that I need to make. And I've got this ready so that I can do my posts. So I'm really in good shape with this one. 3 more blocks to make. Well, actually only 2. I've already made the October block. So trying to get ahead and get this finished so I have a finished quilt to share with you all in December. The other thing I wanted to do is just kind of show you all of the smaller blocks. I always do that every month, and I am going to have a table runner pattern for you all. But I'm really, really starting to think that I might want to make a little wall hanging. These are just so cute. I laid them out the other day, and I just love this 9 block layout. I'll put them all there for you. Because I was traveling when I did these 2 blocks and used just a solid white instead of the tone on tone, I'm not going to put them underneath one on top of each other. If I do a wall hanging like this, I'll probably move this one over here and kind of move this star over to there. But I just really think this would make such a super cute little mini wall hanging with the 9. And I might go ahead and do my table runner just with 3 blocks. We'll see. But I will have also a table runner version that uses all of the blocks. But yeah, this might end up being some type of a little bonus project because it's just so cute like this. I did want to also mention one thing. I've had a few questions about, hey, my fabric strips are running low. So it is possible to do all of the print log cabin strips with the jelly roll, but you would have to do some mixing and matching, sort of like what I did with my first block, where I used 3 different colors. You might have to do that. Another thing you can do if you're running low on fabric is you can cut the 8.5-inch strip that you use first from your layer cake that you've been using for your blocks, and that lessens the amount of fabric that you need to use from the jelly roll. The other option that you can do is if you wouldn't have to do any color matching at all if you're kind of creative and use the layer cake for some of those smaller strips, or if you mix and match colors in your blocks. But if you absolutely don't want to mix and match colors, and maybe you've already used the pieces of the layer cake that you need, 3 additional fat 8ths would make it to where you would be fine, and you could keep every log cabin set in one colorway. So just a couple thoughts as you might be nearing the end of your fabric. If a lot of people got fat quarter bundles, and so you're going to be totally fine, you're going to have extra fabric for another project even. But we are getting to the end, so I thought I would mention that little detail. But yes, keep sewing along and keep sharing your blocks. I love seeing them. And again, we'll have a link to go get the PDF pattern for this month over on my blog. We'll have that in the description below. Okay, so that's it for the September 2025 block of the month. I'm so happy that you're all sewing along. I love seeing the blocks. They actually start showing up so quickly in our Facebook group, and it's so fun to see all of your blocks and all the different fabric combinations. I will have everything linked in the description below. It's never too late to join in. These patterns will be free through the end of the year. And just a note, if you are new, I do get emails occasionally from people who are just joining in, and the instructions for the log cabin portions are with the January block. So make sure you go all the way back and get that January block. Everything is linked on each month's blog post, so you can easily go back and navigate and get those older patterns. But we're so happy to have all of you sewing along. And if you enjoyed today's video, please share it with a friend, hit the like button, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Thanks so much for stopping by.